mygritcommunity.com. That's mygritcommunity.com.
It's Wrestling on the Spectrum, featuring Brody the Brain Herman, powered by the law firm of Brown and Crouppen, uncovering the hidden history, pro wrestling patterns, and the stories behind the stories for unapologetic wrestling fanatics. He doesn't just watch wrestling, he decodes it. Here's Brody, Patrico, and Jeremy on the Lou Information Station.
It's the fallout from AEW All Out. WWE WrestlePalooza, first PLE on ESPN+. All of that and more today on Wrestling on the Spectrum.
Hey, here we are. I am not Patrico, baby. Tony Patrico is not here. My name is Dave Green. It is a pleasure to be joined by Brody the Brain Herman and JC. What's up, fellas?
Back on the attack with the hot tag again, Dave. This is like one of those Survivor series where they advertise, Dino Bravo and the earthquake, but in the end, you got Lanny Poffo or something like that. I'm not comparing you to the genius.
Sorry to bring this up, Brody, when I used to go to DeSmet basketball camp, they actually nicknamed me Morocco.
There you go, Don Morocco.
Like Don Morocco.
Yeah.
So one time when I was in a shooting contest there, they had the entire camp. I was in the finals of the shooting contest. The entire camp was chanting Morocco, Morocco.
Amazing.
I was never compared to Paul Roma, just, Timu Ricky Schroeder or something like that.
Man.
Lots to get into. Boys.
Yes.
This has just been a wrestling overload. And it feels like the tides of change are coming. Lots to get into here, starting with a pretty darn successful AEW All Out up there in Canada. Hey, Brody?
Let's kick off with the first match here. Adam Copeland and Christian Cage defeated FTR. I like this match a lot. It's probably one of my favorite matches, if not my favorite match on the pay-per-view. It was really good. Great to see Edge and Christian back together. Great job by Tony Khan by reuniting these two, giving them a win. Only criticism I have is the tag team belts should have been involved in the match, and you could have done without the four-way ladder match to make it a little shorter. But all in all, great job, great return to see with Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. I'm looking forward to see what they do next.
Cope, otherwise known as Edge in the WWE, WWF back in the day. Where is Edge going from here? There's a lot of rumors that he may take on Cena in December. Do you believe any of this, Brody?
Nope. It's going to be Adam Copeland, Christian Cage reunited, and they're going on a long run. So no to that. I think they got other plans for Cena. We'll talk about that later in the show. Stay tuned. And there's a lot going on here, folks. Next match, Eddie Kingston in his return match defeated Big Bill. Wrong opponent for Eddie Kingston. I don't think he should have slayed a giant in his return. I think his return should have been more of a surprise on the PLE or pay-per-view, whatever you all call it these days. And I think it should have been against more of a heel job guy. Eddie Kingston could have gotten a win. Big Bill, that could have been a real feud, but instead, Big Bill takes a loss to Eddie Kingston. A whiffed finish. That was brutal to watch. I think he practically missed him with his silly, that back-fisted, backhanded thing that Eddie Kingston does?
Yeah,
that weird finish.
Week for botches here.
Yeah.
Ooh, baby.
Oh,
Keep going.
It's rough.
Nice to see Eddie Kingston back, as you all said last week with Tony. He's so authentic and really connects with the fans.
Yeah, and then we go to the next match, the Demand of Ricochet, Bishop Khan, Toa Leone. Now they're called the Demand. I don't know why. I'm not in demand to see them more. Particularly Toa Leone's just awful. I realize he's the one that's really caused me the agony. I think Bishop Khan should become a singles. He's actually showed a lot in this match. MVP took the fall. They actually covered the manager, which is kind of surprising. Love seeing MVP in action. I'm surprised. This is probably one of the more shocking moments on the pay-per-view by the Hurt Syndicate winning this match. No. Jeremy, do it vertical.
There you go.
Yeah, do it vertical. Yeah, when you film. But back to this, and it's more of a camera thing. But yes, very shocking moment to see the Hurt Syndicate losing to the Demand here. Really looking forward to see what they do with Bishop Khan.
Yeah, you were all tough on Ricochet. I feel like his personality is coming out as a heel, and I think he's one of the hottest stars in AEW right now. I don't disagree that he is best in the ring, but I think he has found that edge that he was missing in WWE when he was just sort of, literally a superhero.
Yeah, I guess. I think he was best as a superhero. I don't know. But we got another match. Mercedes Moné defeated Riho to retain the AEW TBS Championship. Not a surprise here, defeating Riho, and we knew Moné was going to win the match. It's kind of predictable. I don't really blame fans if they wanted to fast forward through that match. Wasn't really important to the overall scheme of the pay-per-view, just a way to get Mercedes Moné on the card. So, yeah, that is kind of it. Did you have any wowing impressions of this match, Jeremy, or was it just another title defense for Moné?
I think Mercedes Moné is a star. I agree. She's got some, we need a strong opponent for her and setting it up, but let's keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's keep on going here to the most disappointing match on the pay-per-view. Mark Briscoe defeated MJF in a tables and tacks match. This was brutal to watch. Such an embarrassment. It really was. Made AEW seem indie and outlaw and low rent. This was silly. They needed to get Mark Briscoe over. I was happy with the result that Briscoe won the match by defeating MJF. But this was not really a tables and tacks match. It was more of a tax match. They heavily used the thumbtacks, which is just childish and juvenile to use in the sport of wrestling. I just hated this match. Very sad. I would have loved to see these guys just go at it in a singles match, but they needed to add a little more sizzle. It was lazy booking. This match epitomizes lazy booking.
I think we're going to ban that term moving forward.
Yeah.
Brody, we challenge you to not say lazy booking. There's this thing called ECW that people still loved, and it's like a variety show. And sometimes you need to go down and get a little beef on the buffet and show a little red. There's certainly I think that's how AEW sort of differentiates themselves.
We'll see if it's much of a variety show as we recap this show more, because there's a lot of matches that but that's another thing with this pay-per-view, Jeremy. A lot of the matches seem to blend in together. They all kind of felt the same. A lot of no rules, a lot of blood, a lot of tables. We'll talk more about the tables in the main event, believe me, coming down the pike. It's just a lot of stuff. There's just a lot of stuff going on. Of course, we're going to talk about the next match here. I'm going to go on the women's match, fatal four-way match for the AEW Women's World Championship. Chris Statlander shockingly defeated Toni Storm. The unfortunate part is Wheeler Yuta is now the Death Riders have infected the women's division with this horrible virus. They've created in AEW this Death Riders virus, and now it's contagious. The women's division is infected now with the Death Riders mess, and this is just unfortunate. Now, and it's contaminated. This is unfortunate. I love Toni Storm as champion. She's probably one of the most popular women in all of AEW, but
agreed.
This was just bad.
The biggest star they have right now, I would say. And Toni Storm, I believe, has mainstream breakout potential. That's a clip you can show to non-wrestling fans. She is hilarious and has created a memorable character. I think the sky is the limit for Toni Storm. I would build the entire promotion around this woman.
Yeah, so you don't agree by putting the belt on Statlander?
That was a surprise for sure. And then we saw that play out on Dynamite and the return of Darby Allin and things. Listen, Brody, you are critical of AEW. I understand. I don't disagree that the Death Riders, it's tough, right? What do they want? What is their goal? We'll get into it all with the John Moxley.
We'll get into it because we tweeted, and he is. John Moxley is the worst superstar in the sport of professional wrestling. He is the worst superstar. Keyword is superstar, because he has drawn money. I'm not saying John Moxley hasn't drawn any money. He is a superstar. He's just the worst superstar in the sport of wrestling. His matches are all the same. They're not original anymore. He uses a fork. There's blood. There's always going to be some type of no disqualification, no count out, no rules element, particularly on his pay-per-view matches. They're all the same. The Death Riders are awful. Now they've drugged Daniel Garcia into it. They've drugged in the entire women's division down into it. It's a virus. It's contagious. It's infecting AEW. It's infecting their creative team. This is awful. I hate this. Can the Death Riders please die? And I'm going to talk about this match because let me say this. They buried Darby Allin, put him in a coffin, complete burial of Darby Allin on the pay-per-view. Nobody wanted to see that. They just wanted to see Darby win. Nobody wanted to see the outcome of this match. Lousy finish. And wait, it gets even better, folks. They go to the back. Darby comes out of the coffin. Nothing happened to him. Nothing has happened. He comes out completely like the match never happened. He then comes out of the body bag. He puts John Moxley into the body bag and sets him on fire. And oh, wait, St. Louis. We're now going to have to see an I Quit match between Darby Allin and John Moxley because Darby Allin set John Moxley on fire. Like you wouldn't be fired from the promotion for setting somebody on fire. How ridiculous was that? Totally unrealistic.
Not the first time someone's been set on fire.
Yeah.
Or the last.
Yeah. Moxley just no sells. I mean, he didn't even have any burns, it seemed like. None of this is realistic at all. It's a virus. I know Darby's death-defying, and I'm sure he can't say no to John Moxley's awful creative. It's a train wreck. He drags the whole product down. This is unfortunate. I don't like this one bit. None of this is good. None of the Death Riders is good. Just this needs to get off my television screen It just drags AEW down to its lowest point. And we should release a poll of who's had it worse since leaving WWE, who's been worse, Mercedes Moné or Jon Moxley, because both of their careers have gone down the toilet. I think it's Moxley. Moxley tops the list. He's the worst superstar in AEW. It's not close. Superstar is the key word. Not the worst wrestler in the world. He is the worst superstar in AEW. This match was absolutely rotten on all cylinders, and they completely buried Darby for no reason.
Well, the
Can I ask a
counterpoint
question?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Jump in and ask a question.
Sure.
Do you know how many people bought the pay-per-view last year?
Last year, I would guess it was in the 120,000 range.
105,000.
Okay, who bought
You know
it?
how many bought it this year?
130-ish.
135 to 140,000.
Yeah.
So
Right.
the statement "nobody wants to see this" is false.
Right.
Right.
Jon Moxley.
Nobody wants to see the death. I'm saying that the Death
But they
Riders
keep paying
contribute to
for
it.
it.
Right.
They
And-
keep paying for it over and over again. So somebody wants to see it.
And Brody, I don't disagree that the main event scene needed a refresh, but if you look, Jon Moxley is putting folks over ultimately, and he is a big name. He is dedicated. Listen, when that music hits, I don't disagree. It has a little bit of like, the NWO when they went too far and had red and black and things. It has a little bit of, oh my gosh, where is this going? I don't disagree that Jon Moxley, maybe after losing to Hangman, needed to take a couple months off or something. But if you do look, he is putting over. I Quit match, Wrestle Dream, right here in St. Louis in Shavitz Arena. I think it's going to be brutal and fun, and ultimately Darby Allin is going to be elevated, just like Mount Everest.
Yeah, I guess so. And I'm not talking about nobody wants to see AEW. That's not the point here. I'm talking about the Death Riders as a group. I think an unequivocal amount of people just want the Death Riders as a group, as a stable off the television screen. They're not going to turn off AEW and go to the other channel, but they want the Death Riders as a stable to just get off the screen. Jon Moxley should take a year off. He should take a year off. His work in the ring has declined. He's psychologically he doesn't have great ring psychology. Nothing about Jon Moxley is that good. And we could just move on from this because Death Riders are not going to die, and we're going to have to talk about them. We're going to have to see him in St. Louis at Wrestle Dream.
That's right.
But
maybe we'll get Jon Moxley in here, and you can tell it to his
I
face.
would tell right to his face.
Yeah.
And
I'd like
he'll
to
just
see how
mumble
that
and
goes.
say something irrelevant back. I
But
saw it
it's
right to his face.
You keep saying it's his promotion, right? I mean, he has been the star of this promotion.
He's been a backbone
the whole time.
Yes.
And we just said that their numbers improved 40% year over year. So who is it that you're talking about when you say they want the Death Riders to die?
The audience.
But what are you judging that by?
That's hardcore
A few
fan.
posts on social media? Look at the facts. The facts are the numbers increased in the event. So they're not losing fans, they're gaining fans.
Sure.
AEW pulled off an incredible show without Will Ospreay, without Kenny Omega.
Are the Death Riders responsible for the fan increase, though? That's the bigger question.
The way you're
Storytelling.
making it sound, if when the Cardinals were great and Albert Pujols was the star, and all of a sudden everybody hated Albert Pujols, they'd stop coming to the games.
Right.
But if Jon Moxley is the biggest star of AEW, you can have your opinion that you
I don't
don't
think he's the
like
biggest
John
box
Moxley.
Well,
I don't think he's the biggest. I don't think
he's
he's the biggest box office attraction.
He's a heel. You're not supposed to like him.
He's on every show. He's in every main event. He's on every pay-per-view.
He's
That's
the
fine.
number one heel. You are supposed to
Fine.
want to
Yeah.
see him get his butt kicked.
So I'll toss it back
happened.
to you guys with
Yeah.
this.
No,
John
no.
Moxley appears to be doing his job.
Fair enough.
I don't
Fair
disagree.
enough.
And that's what we're here to talk about.
guess. And now
on
we're going to
Wrestling
talk
at the
about
Spectrum, the main
the
event.
fatal four-way. No, we got a lot
Oh,
more
yeah.
to that. We got a fatal four-way ladder match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. We knew Brodito would retain. It was a trampoline indie match. That's kind of what it was. A good old indie trampoline match like they were in Reseda. The Bucks and Jet Speed, Kevin Knight, and Speedball Mike Bailey, and the Don Callis family of Hechicero and Josh Alexander. We knew Brodito would retain, but the whole point of this match, the Jurassic Express folks has returned. Nobody wanted to see Jack Perry, but Luchasaurus got the reaction, even though he can't work and they can't book around his lack of working ability in the ring. And AEW will probably fumble the football on this, but Luchasaurus is back. The fans love him. They love Luchasaurus. They don't really like Jack Perry, but they like Luchasaurus. And they all hugged and embraced it. Jurassic Express is back together again, and I guess they get the revenge on the Young Bucks. Yay. Yay.
Yeah, they're in rebuilding mode, no doubt. That is a popular tag team, and they certainly weren't doing anything with Jack, so I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm all for it, because what else are you going to do? Go back to 2019 again. Let's go to the, have we talked about the, we'll get to that right now. The most laziest wrestler in the sport of professional wrestling. He works a lot like David Flair. If you notice, he works a lot like David Flair. It's unbelievable the similarities between those two work, particularly since Okada has gotten into AEW. He obviously retained the title. He defeated Takeshita and Dorada. Nobody thought it was ever going to go anywhere, any other way. No momentum, no steam. It was just to appease the CMLL partnership. Squash Dorada. He pins Dorada. Continues to be lazy. This match is just another disappointing match. I like the Okada Takeshita tension. Maybe they can do something with that down the line. They're both members of the Don Callis family. Do you notice that all the heels in this company are in a group? They're either in the Death Riders or the Don Callis family. It's like the Don Callis family is trying to be the Bobby Heenan family, but they're just not. It's kind of funny. I don't get it, but they have too many members in the Don Callis family. Can you name all of them? I certainly can't. And yeah, it's just, you knew Okada was going to retain. Wasn't going to be anything shocking or surprising or death-defying. Wasn't that long of a match, and Okada retained. What are your thoughts?
Anybody who works with Don Callis seems to come over that next edge, that next level, which we'll get to Kyle Fletcher soon. And then Takeshita seems to be on his way. Am I hearing this right? In New Japan, he may be main eventing Wrestle Kingdom and things. He's going to be such a huge global star.
I'm very high on Takeshita. He was the best wrestler in this match. Quite frankly, I can't lie.
Yeah. That's the next big, breakout star of a Kenny Omega level. They are very lucky to have him. Let's hope they can hang on to him.
Absolutely. And
Speaking
of course,
hanging in there, yeah.
Do we have any other matches? Or are we going to dive right into the main event? We're going to dive into Hangman Adam Page, the most boring world champion in history, defeated Kyle Fletcher in a match that went a little too long. But everybody knew Fletcher wasn't going to win the belt. The belt was safe with Page, unfortunately. We knew he was going to retain the belt. There wasn't going to be a title change. The fans weren't all that into it as much as probably people wanted them to be. They had some tables involved in the match, which wasn't necessary. Phenomenal buckshot lariat at the end. Not nice exclamation point. And, Page retained. And Fletcher had to take a loss. Your AEW TNT champion lost on the pay-per-view. I don't know how fans feel about that. But he took an L on pay-per-view. Their main event is a little thin, as Jeremy mentioned earlier. Ospreay's injured. Strickland's injured. Nice showing, I guess. It wasn't a rotten match. It wasn't the worst match I've ever seen. Was it main event caliber? Probably not. But are any Hangman Adam Page matches main event caliber, unless if he's wrestling Bryan Danielson or MJF? I don't think so. He's just boring. Fletcher's got a lot of potential. And that's kind of what I took away from this match. Nothing shocking. We knew the outcome and result, but it's the same on WWE too.
The reviews online have been that match was absolute fire. And that is how you book your world champion who has just won the title. You give him a strong opponent like that, as far as just a work rate opponent, and you make him look amazing. And say what you will about Hangman, the fans are into him.
No, I don't think he has a lot of fans that are into him. I think there are some fans where he's the worst promo in the business. He's the most overrated on promos. He can't talk. Everybody knows it. He's boring on the mic. He's just boring. Everything about Page is boring. He has nice matches with the right opponent, but he doesn't listen to veteran wrestlers. He doesn't take direction. He's just, a lot of his matches are, this was an Adam Page centric match. And it should be, Jeremy. I'm not saying it shouldn't be. He's your world champion. It should be a Page centric match. Just Page centric matches aren't all that great. I think with the right opponent, he can get in some really good rivalries. And I think he'll be world champion, unfortunately, for a while, but he's just boring. But again, I guess people are gravitated towards him. I don't know why. He doesn't cut a promo that makes any sense, or he doesn't have any emotion in anything he does. He's more of a tweener, more that you have some people who like him, some people who hate him. He's more of a tweener than John Cena was as champion. Because you have a lot of people that blame him and Jack Perry for the reason CM Punk is gone. Let's be honest.
Listen, I don't disagree. We can all play booking the territories, but I would have put the belt on Will Ospreay a year or two ago. That is the type of wrestler that you show non-wrestling fans to get them excited about wrestling. Will Ospreay is on such another level. I'm worried now he's injured due to his style, and he's not going to be able to come back the same. So I don't disagree there, but Tony is working with the chess pieces he has.
I agree.
And say what you will, AEW has come out of a funk, and it seems like things are on the up and up, to Dave's point, as far as every measurable.
I think they are on the up and up.
Yeah.
I think they are on the up and up. I think Mark Briscoe, elevate him, MJF. You've got Kyle Fletcher. You have stars that can be elevated. I'm not saying that you don't, but I think as an overall state of AEW, I think I don't think it's in the best spot. I think it's definitely improved, but they have a lot more improvement to go. And I'm excited to see what more stars they can create. AEW needs to create more stars. I think they can do that. I think they're capable of doing it. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do at Wrestle Dream here in St. Louis. Hopefully it was a lot better than what we got in Toronto. Just a lot of no rules matches. And hopefully, I know there'll be a lot of no rules matches here in St. Louis, but maybe it'll be better than it was in Toronto. A lot of the matches just felt the same to me.
That's right. As we alluded to, Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley. First match announced for AEW Wrestle Dream. That's going on Saturday, October 18th, right here in St. Louis at the Shavitz Arena. I got to tell you, I've been to several AEW shows here in St. Louis. They are always bangers. They are always fun. It's a more intimate atmosphere. The fans are into it. Tony Khan does put on a good show. And the pricing wise, which there's a lot of debate right now around pro wrestling and prices, and particularly with WrestleMania in Vegas next year. Have you seen some of these prices? Brody, what's your take on these WrestleMania prices?
Well, I think there's a lot going on with the WrestleMania prices, quite frankly. I think, I'm not surprised they're going up. WWE wants as much money as possible. TKO wants as much money as possible. And I think that they don't really care about the fan. They care about the value of the company overall. And I don't think they really care about fan experience. And going to Saudi Arabia, I told everybody that they're going to go to Saudi Arabia for a WrestleMania. I think they'll go there for a Survivor Series and a SummerSlam. I think they're going to continue the relationship with Saudi Arabia and have more PLEs over in Saudi Arabia. They're going to have more pay-per-views globally around the world. And I don't think that's going to change, and I don't think that's going to waver. So that's kind of my opinion on the matter, and we're just all going to have to live with it. The commercialization, have you seen all this stuff? It looks like UFC ring. All the ads are all over the place in WWE's TKO ring. Yes. Sure, AEW is going to get there. AEW is going to have ads all over the ring sooner rather than later if they want to keep up. And, people were complaining about how even though you could use HBO Max, it was still more expensive overall than WrestlePalooza for AEW All. It was more expensive than WrestlePalooza. And, is that the right decision, Jeremy, for AEW to charge people more money for pay-per-views and not less than WWE on ESPN Plus?
I think there's an opportunity here for AEW to be more family-friendly pricing. And again, it's almost like going to see the Savannah Bananas versus the Major League Baseball. You get a more intimate experience. It feels a little more fan-friendly at times. You get opportunities. There's different packaging. Something is in the air, and it feels like we all know the WWF, WWE of our childhoods is gone. The TKO merger, to your point, Brody, and we may disagree, but I hear you. This is here to stay, and money talks. And from everything I'm hearing, TKO needs to pay off the acquisition debt that they've taken on to get the WWE in the first place. So I don't think it's going back, but I'm sensing a real frustration from the fans due to these WrestleMania prices, due to WrestlePalooza, which we'll get in after the break there, that this thing is, they are just putting everybody's wallet in the figure four leg lock and squeezing every dime out of it.
Absolutely. And of course, if you want to call in at 855-282-8255 or text us at 314-590-3770, or you can chat in the YouTube chat, ask wrestling questions, and we'll be happy to answer those. And, it's been a lot for wrestling fans, without a doubt in my mind. There's been a lot for wrestling fans, and, the pricing, we're in a new era. I agree AEW should go more family friendly in their pricing. They haven't seemed to do that. They want to go a little more, I guess, high end, and they want to be treated as high end. And I know that they don't want to be family friendly pricing, despite what Tony Khan will tell you. HBO Max and Amazon Prime will tell you something else. So we'll see how that goes.
I'm curious from the business point, boss man Dave, what is your take? What are you hearing on the ground with your inside sources and dirt sheets and contacts and shoeshine boys? What's the mood over there with the TKO and the takeover of WWE?
I don't think that the people that are there are seeing anything that they didn't expect, from inside, because this is what happens. I mean, this is business. This is big business, big, huge business,
crazy numbers.
And, when you get into public company situations, this is what it has to be. You can't, kind of pull back and say, hey, we're good where we're at. There has to be growth. And, the international thing is very, very interesting because, and I have this conversation with Conrad all the time. When you look at the international scene, they all want American sports.
Mm-hmm.
Who can they get regularly?
Mm-hmm.
WWE?
Not football,
Right.
not basketball,
Right.
not baseball, not hockey, right? So combat sports is what you're left with. So the idea that WWE and UFC are owned by the same company and internationally they want combat sports, it all makes sense.
Let's be clear what happened. For the first time in history, WrestleMania is in the same city it was last year due to a crazy site fee that Las Vegas is willing to give up. It's very weird to say, but Vince McMahon has somehow turned face in all this, and we're all sort of nostalgic for that. Boy, Vince had a line. He wouldn't put logos on the mat. He probably would have never done something. There was rumors it was supposed to be in Nashville in the following year. So what do we think this WrestleMania Saudi Arabia card is going to be like? I'm hearing things like they want The Undertaker back. They want Yokozuna back, but he's dead. What is going on? I mean, what sort of, when money is no object, are we going to have Conor McGregor stepping in the ring with The Rock? What is this going to look like?
I don't know. Those are all out of the box things. Those are all out of the box elements. I don't know about that, but we'll see. And wait, Dave, how many minutes we got till the break?
About 2.
About 2. All right. No, all good. And obviously, if you want to call in at 855-282-8255, text us at 314-590-3770. Of course, after the break, we're going to talk about WrestlePalooza. We're going to recap and give our reactions to WWE WrestlePalooza. A lot more coming on at Wrestling on the Spectrum down the pike. It's going to be very interesting as we come out of this break because there's just a lot that happened. A lot less matches, though. Less matches, shorter show.
As Cody Rhodes would say, WrestlePalooza right after the break.
WrestlePalooza. Just tremendous.
Stay tuned.
We will be back after this. You're listening to Wrestling on the Spectrum, and we are here on the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
In your city with Kelly and Gordon. It's the hottest happy hour in STL radio. A high-energy, high-impact weekday radio show blending relationship values, celebrity buzz, community love, and sharp business insight. This is where storytelling meets strategy. It's the pulse of this city, bringing the energy, stories, and voices of STL to life. In your city with Kelly and Gordon. Weekday afternoons at 4, only on the Lou Information Station.
Lunchtime just got a whole lot better at Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill. From mouth-watering wraps to loaded quesadillas to bold, flavor-packed sandwiches, Hot Shots has something fresh every single day, along with your favorite wings, burgers, and pizza that you know and love. And don't sleep on those Hot Shots tacos. Plus, if you gotta be in and out quick for lunch, Hot Shots has you covered every day starting at 11 a.m. Find your nearest Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill now at hotshotsnet.com. That's hotshotsnet.com.
Is your brand stuck on the sidelines? Tired of feeling like your marketing budget is just warming the bench? Well, then it's time to get in the game with Eyesight Media. We don't just put your brand near the action, we put you in the action. Imagine this, your company front and center, showcased in NCAA and pro stadiums and arenas nationwide. If you're ready to elevate your brand to MVP status, don't miss this shot. Visit eyesightmediagroup.com today to apply for an in-arena partnership. That's eyesightmediagroup.com.
Joined now by the boss, Dave Green. Dave, we're building something pretty special here, but running a growing media company takes more than great content. Tell us why you chose Home Bank for your business banking.
For us, it's all about relationships. With Home Bank, we're not just an account number. We know the people there, and they know us, our goals, and where we're headed. That personal connection makes all the difference.
Greener, when you say relationships, what does that really look like?
They not only know my name, Cam, they know our business. And when I need something, whether it's a phone call or a text, weekday or weekend, morning or night, I get a response from someone I know and help with whatever I need.
That's huge. And for a business like ours, you need a bank that can move at the pace you're moving.
Exactly. We're in a fast-changing media world, and Home Bank has been a steady partner through it all.
Home Bank is a team behind our team. Visit myhomebank.bank or call 855-577-2001.
Home Bank, member FDIC, more than a bank, they're your business partner.
You've been strong for everyone else, but let me ask you who is strong for you. I am Jennifer Bardot, radio personality, author, and publisher, and the founder of Grit Association, which stands for Growth, Resilience, Intention, and Tenacity. What is Grit? Grit is a movement, a sisterhood, a space where ambitious women grow, lead, and thrive. This isn't just leadership. This is transformation. Grit is your circle of fire, where comfort zones get shattered, where stories become power, and the next level becomes your new normal. From our 7 international anthologies that elevate women's voices to my radio show, Elevate and Lead, on the Lou Information Station, everything we do is about your rising, your voice, your power, your people. Are you ready? Join Grit. For more information, visit mygritcommunity.com. That's mygritcommunity.com.
Hey everyone, Cam Jansen here to tell you about the experts at Fast Signs in Earth City. Fast Signs can handle any and all of your business visibility needs, from traditional signs and graphics to digital to core graphics and anything in between. Fast Signs in Earth City has you covered. The station uses them, the Blues use them, and you will love the work they do. Call 314-344-4400 for your custom signage needs today. That's Fast Signs in Earth City, 314-344-4400.
It's still real to me, damn it!
Now back to more of Wrestling on the Spectrum with Brody the Brain Herman, JC and Patrico on the Lou Information Station. Streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
All righty, we are back here on Wrestling on the Spectrum. We are going to kick off our WrestlePalooza recap and give our reactions to the first match on the show. Brock Lesnar defeated John Cena. John Cena put over Brock Lesnar like $1 million. Brock Lesnar was not going to come back to WWE and have his first match be a loss. So Brock Lesnar wins this match. John Cena put him over, much to many surprise. Not to Tony Patrico, though. He saw this one coming. And there was a ref bump after the match. A lot of F5s. Brock Lesnar's established himself. Now on SmackDown, Cody has hinted at Brock Lesnar. Looks like they could be inserting a Lesnar-Cody WWE title match down the line. So it looks to be that they're building up Brock Lesnar strong. And I don't think Brock Lesnar was going to come back and have his first match be a loss, because we know this about Brock Lesnar. He doesn't care about a lot, but he cares about getting paid like a top star primarily. And secondly, he wants to stay on top. And he's not going to stay on top if he loses matches coming on his first match back. So, you know, John Cena, like I've said, the consummate professional, the company guy. I want to wrestle Brock Lesnar on my retirement tour. Brock, first match coming back after 2 years. Doesn't want to lose it. I completely understand that. So to me, I get why this match result happened. I thought it was a fine match. It's kind of what I expected, except the finish. I didn't think Cena was going to lose to Brock. But again, I got to be smarter and realize that Brock's not going to lose in his first match coming back. What are your thoughts, Jeremy, on this one?
I think that was the right call. Establish the beast. Obviously, it's controversial, but as we've said, the money talks. The whole ESPN era has begun. Bit of controversy. Was it hard to order the pay-per-view and see this match in the first place?
It was a little hard.
Why? Do you have to have like ESPN enhanced? I just read the results and saw clips. How would you order this pay-per-view?
You got to go to the ESPN app on your phone or on your television. You can get a bundle with Disney and Hulu, and you got to order ESPN Plus. So the exclusive, all of the inclusive package to get everything. I think it's $29.99 a month. It may even be more than that now. I'm not sure, but I think it's $29.99 a month. So
we are supposed to be in a digital heaven, and I can remember ordering UFC pay-per-views on top of ESPN Plus, and it is so frustrating. So was this in addition? There was a lot of confusion. Even on air, you had R-Truth and Joe Tessitore saying like, oh, if you have cable, you're good. I'm just saying there's a lot of fan backlash, which Vince McMahon himself was tweeting about getting a VPN, different things. I mean, this is an interesting time right now with ESPN and WWE. But yes, a big match to kick it off. Cena coming out in full face style, even had kids with him and everything. That's the one thing I don't think is getting talked about enough. What happened with this John Cena heel turn? I mean, this is a crazy. Yes. I mean, was that due to The Rock? Like, what happened there? Not enough folks are talking about this one of the second greatest heel turn next to Hulk Hogan. And then it sort of petered out there. And we just quickly, I don't disagree. I think the fans ultimately want to like John Cena. I think they want to buy the t-shirts and everything. I think, we'll get to it, but AJ Styles next month in Perth is the right way to do it. But wow, a lot of disappointment as far as I'm seeing online of just this card in a whole. But I think it was the right move ultimately to put the big beast over. To your point, taking on Cody, perhaps in something. But we'll get to that. What else was on this relatively small card?
Yeah, I mean, on the small card, at Division, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker defeated the Usos. LA Knight was the special guest referee. Love the finish. Love seeing the Vision get put over here strong. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker getting over strong, beating a credible tag team in the Usos. I would love to see him win the tag belts. I think the Vision needs the tag belts. I think Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed could elevate the tag belts if you put the tag belts on them. Raw tag belts, SmackDown tag belts, it doesn't make a difference. Tony's right. There are too many belts in this promotion. But you've got that going. And, of course, I think the Usos did a great job putting these guys over. We know the Usos aren't great in the ring. It's more personality-driven for the Usos, but they're a credible babyface tag team that the fans want to see. And I think the Vision did a really good job in this match. I like this match a lot. It felt like a lot of stars on this show, just star-heavy, a lot of stars, just stars all over the place.
Brody, what is your take on what's going on with Jey Uso, the Yeet Man himself? Is he turning heel?
It sort of seems that way. He's developed a little bit of an edge.
Wow.
He speared LA Knight, and he seems to be developing a little bit of an edge. We'll see what he does regarding Roman, but Jey Uso may be turning heel. He may not. We don't know, but he's developing quite a bit of an edge, of course. For the vacant Raw Women's Championship, Stephanie Vaquer defeated Io Sky. I said this, WWE did a great job here. Paul Levesque did a great job putting the Raw Women's Championship on Stephanie Vaquer. Crowning moment. She did a great job in this match. Great moves. Did you see the corkscrew that she did? That was a great move.
Yes.
I loved what I'm seeing out of Stephanie Vaquer. Great result, right result. Now she's going to be facing Tiffany Stratton in Perth. I'm looking forward to that match and seeing two athletic specimens going at each other. This is phenomenal. Great job here and great and right decision, I think, personally, the right decision for them to put the belt on Stephanie Vaquer. What are your thoughts on the belt going to La Primera?
Absolutely. She is fantastica. Stephanie Vaquer has conquered social media for many reasons, and she's got some Rhea Ripley level heat going on right now. Ooh. In a great way, as far as that is the breakout star. People really seem to be into her. She's certainly worked hard, first showing up, of course, in AEW. So you do have to give Tony credit for discovering them, went on to NXT for a short run. And now she's here and she's at the top of the mountain. So taking on Tiffany Stratton now because of this match and the fallout from SmackDown in Perth. So that's going to be a great champion versus champion match as far as a marquee match. But the sky is the limit for Stephanie Vaquer if she can stay healthy.
Now, this is the match everybody was tuning in to see, of course. CM Punk and AJ Lee defeated Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch by submission. I said that CM Punk and AJ Lee should win this match. AJ Lee should win her first match back in WWE after being gone for 10 years. She did successfully, made Becky Lynch tap out. Kind of surprised at how the finish was executed. I thought Punk would pin Rollins. I didn't think that it would be Lee making Lynch tap out, but sure enough, she did. And I do think they will still have the AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch Women's Intercontinental Championship match down the line. I love this match. It was probably my favorite match on the show, one of my favorite matches on the show. I thought it was very well done. Great job in getting AJ Lee over. She feels like a star. She feels like she's right in the mix for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And I'm interested and looking forward to see Becky Lynch and AJ Lee competing against each other for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. What did you think of this great mixed tag team match?
Yeah, this was one that the fans have been asking for years and finally came true. AJ Lee hasn't lost a step. She looks great, really connected with the fans with a mental health chant, which is awesome to see in 2025. Gotta love wrestling fans. They are plugged in and they do have a heart and a conscience. So this was the way to go. Brody, I think you called it the week before as definitely the way to go. But yeah, this is feel good. And to your point, you can have AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. This Seth Rollins CM Punk blood feud just seems to continue. And wow, what a feel good moment. So smart move to put this match on the big WrestlePalooza ESPN card.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I'm going to talk about this. Is going to be a little long-winded, guys, but Cody Rhodes defeated Drew McIntyre to retain the title. We knew the belt was going to stay safe with Cody. This is a fine match. It was fine. Wasn't great. It was nicely executed. Drew McIntyre is one of my favorite heel personalities in all of WWE. I think Drew McIntyre is one of my top 5 favorite wrestlers in all of the sport of professional wrestling. I love Drew. Cody is phenomenal at what he does. He obviously should have retained, and they did so. But everybody thought, we should put the belt on Cody because John Cena needed to put the belt on Cody at SummerSlam. But now the belt just doesn't have as much steam as people thought that it would by having the title change happen. We wanted to see it, and then did we really want to see it? it kind of has become where the belt has lost a little bit of steam. What are your thoughts, Jeremy?
Well, there was a lot of rumors that even Cody Rhodes himself wanted Drew McIntyre to go over with a little Randy Orton heel turn is what the rumors were. I kind of don't disagree that would have been an intriguing ending here in the Netflix era, I'll call it, specifically the ESPN era. I call it Netflix era because an intriguing storyline twist that maybe you would not expect. We just talked about, traditionally, I think wrestling fans are programmed where once you've won that title, that next, defense is going to be an easy win or something. They'd rarely take the belt off the next month of someone. So I don't think that's that. It's very interesting, and where they're going with Drew McIntyre now from SmackDown last night with Jacob Fatu. Did you see that, Brody?
Yes. They're going to do a Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu feud. I'm very much looking forward to that. And as I'm interested in seeing where they go. Clearly, they're going to have Cody feuding with the Vision. I know they got him and Seth Rollins wrestling each other at Crown Jewel in Perth. But yeah, it seems to be Cody Rhodes is kind of feuding with the Vision. The Vision's just all over this show, aren't they? Paul Heyman finds a way to get himself all over the place. And obviously, we are going to be doing a deeper dive of Crown Jewel next week as we preview the show upcoming in Perth. Obviously, the matches announced so far are John Cena versus AJ Styles, a steel cage match between Damian Priest and Aleister Black. Sami Zayn, the United States champion, will be defending against Jeff Cobb, JC Mateo, Julia, the Women's United States champion, versus Mia Yim. And, of course, LA Knight and Jey Uso will be in a match. Jimmy Uso, the guest referee. We've got the babyface team of Io Sky and Rhea Ripley versus the Kabuki Warriors of Asuka and Kairi Sane. And the main event matches will be the Stephanie Vaquer, the Raw Women's Champion, will take on Tiffany Stratton, the SmackDown Women's Champion, for the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. And then the main event, of course, of this PLE will be Seth Rollins, the Raw Heavyweight Champion, going against Cody Rhodes, the undisputed WWE Champion, for the WWE Crown Jewel Championship. We're going to give all of our predictions. We're going to do a deep dive and preview this card next week here on Wrestling on the Spectrum. But we've got a lot more going on coming up. We got a lot coming up in the next few weeks, Jeremy. If you want to chat in the YouTube chat or call us in at 855-282-8255 or text us at 314-590-3770 here on Wrestling on the Spectrum. There's a lot going on, no doubt in my mind. And there's a lot coming up, Jeremy. We got a AEW pay-per-view coming to St. Louis, Wrestle Dream at the Chaifetz Arena. That's where the St. Louis Billikens play on October 18th. It'll be 7:00 p.m. Central Time. So I'm looking forward to that. Wrestle Dream. Let's get going.
Absolutely. It's always fun to see AEW in town, like I was saying. But I'm curious on the WWE side. Where's this all going as far as just top line? Let's play a little bit of Booking the Territory.
All right.
Survivor
Fantasy
Series. Yeah. Obviously, the Vision is a faction that seems to be, the top faction right now. War Games, I believe, was announced, right? William Regal came out. It feels like maybe we're doing a little bit of NXT versus WWE. What's Brody's predictions?
I think there's going to be a War Games match between the top heels, top baby faces like it normally is. I'm assuming that Cody Rhodes will be on the top baby face side. Potentially the Vision will be the heel group. I think you can go no other way but having the Vision be the heel group because they're all over the place. And you think Heyman's not going to have the Vision heavily featured at Survivor Series? I don't. I think they will be heavily featured. Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar maybe even as a part of the Vision. Now you saw Paul Heyman introducing Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza, and then Cody Rhodes is talking about Brock Lesnar on SmackDown. They're making Brock Lesnar a heavy relevant part of it. I mean, John Cena, we don't know where he fits in. I think he will be in War Games because I think it's one of his first War Games matches. I don't think it's the first. Maybe it is his first War Games match. He hasn't done anything memorable in War Games. I think because of it's being his last War Games, I think he will do something memorable. I think John Cena will be involved on the babyface side. The C Nation will be behind him. I think the babyfaces will win at War Games. John Cena comes out at top going into his final retirement match. So I think that's kind of where they go. I think John Cena is going to have a nice retirement tour. I don't know what he does in his final match. Will he win? Will he lose? We don't know yet. We're going to have to see how this all unfolds. We'll see. I think he's going to be in a phenomenal match against AJ Styles in Perth. I'm looking forward to that. 7 a.m., guys, because they're in Australia. Everyone's going to have to get up early on Saturday.
I love it.
Breakfast.
That reminds me of, wrestling at the Chase. Well, I know that was at Saturday nights, but I love the early
9 and 10 a.m.
Yes, bring it on, man. I love it because literally you're eating cereal.
Tell me about what you think the Final Four will be. So if we've got Seth Rollins, he's got 4 left after that, right? The Saturday night main event,
AJ
a couple
Styles,
Raws.
Yeah.
So who do you want to see, Brody, just from a fan standpoint? Who do you want to see?
Do you know what would be great? If he could put over Braun Breaker at his final retirement match, the Vision just lay him out. He goes out in a blaze of glory. The Vision just lay him out. Braun Breaker gets the biggest win of his career.
Right.
Future WrestleMania main eventer. He wins the Rumble. He's on a roll. He goes to WrestleMania. And imagine they put the title on Brock. If Brock beats Cody and it's Brock defending the title against Breaker at Mania.
Interesting.
And the two Heyman guys are feuding. Paul Heyman is torn again because we know Heyman's going to insert himself somehow in the WrestleMania main event because he's one of the best managers, if not the best manager in the sport of professional wrestling today. He's the best. It's not even a doubt he's the best. And when he called himself the GOAT, that was the thing. He called himself the GOAT on SmackDown. Of the greatest managers of all time, I think it's Bobby Heenan, but Paul Heyman is a close second or third, depending on, who you think the greatest managers are in the history of the sport of wrestling. But no, I think Cena has a match with Styles. I think maybe one of those is just an appearance. I think he's a participant in War Games, and I think the final match could be Braun Breaker. Maybe he has a match with Gunther. I think John Cena would love to wrestle Gunther.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
that would be good. Gunther is waiting on the sidelines there.
I think we've seen the classic hits, right? Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, CM Punk, they're all out of the way now. AJ Styles is now out of the way. So I'm interested. He's wrestled Sami Zayn for the U.S. title. Maybe he gets the Intercontinental title one more time, but isn't that a little self-serving if you're John Cena?
I don't disagree. One thing I do want to talk about with Wrestle Dream coming up Saturday, October 18th, what are some of your favorites? Brody, I know you were at the WWE event. Was it Survivor Series where Sting made his WWE?
That's right.
What are some of your favorite St. Louis wrestling memories, Brody?
Sting returning. My first show was Extreme Rules, and Lesnar and Triple H were in the cage. That was my first ever wrestling show I saw live. I can't believe it was that late in 2013, but yes, it was at Extreme Rules. A lot of great St. Louis wrestling memories over the years. We're such a great wrestling city, and it's such a tremendous honor that we're getting a show like this, a pay-per-view like this. Wrestle Dream, of course, it is named after Antonio Inoki. Tony Khan, the name comes from Antonio Inoki, as wrestling's greatest dreamer was Antonio Inoki. So I'm excited for this to come. I think I'll be in attendance for this one. I'm looking forward to this, guys. I watch AEW, watch WWE. We all do here on Wrestling on the Spectrum, and we're going to give you our predictions. We're going to have a lot of content coming up, and very soon, I think we have 2 tickets to give away, right, Dave? We have a pair of tickets we're going to give away soon.
Nice.
We are going to get a participant. We're going to get a social media post out there in the upcoming days. And if you comment on that, we're going to pick a participant to come in studio, and you get a chance to beat the Brain and get some tickets.
Oh, I like that.
So that'll be awesome.
To get the tickets. Dave, what are some of your favorite St. Louis wrestling memories, if you have some?
Well, I have a personal one because it was the first live wrestling match I ever saw in my life, which was wrestling at the Chase. And a gentleman who at that time went by the name King Kong Brody was running around the ring, and I was fortunate enough to be in the front row. And he took my chair and beat it over somebody. I don't remember who he was wrestling. So that was one of mine. I just go for my personal one. So I got a chance to go and sit up close. There was an event in St. Louis maybe a year or two ago, and it was the lead up. I think it was the show before WrestleMania. Is that right?
Elimination Chamber. What would that have been?
It was in St. Louis.
Royal Rumble.
No, it was in St. Louis, and it was
Elimination Chamber. 2010 would have been when Undertaker.
No, it was a couple years ago, and it was the Go Home show.
Oh, meaning the TV Raw. Or
SmackDown.
It was.
It was the show before WrestleMania.
Oh,
wow.
And Roman Reigns came out.
Oh yeah, you felt it,
and that whole scene is unbelievable.
It's an
you feel that.
Yeah.
The only time I've ever felt like that at a sporting event was at a Mike Tyson fight.
Awesome.
When he comes out with that kind of energy. But if you never got a chance to see Roman come out and that whole scene, it's pretty unbelievable.
I had a lapse in wrestling, I'd say around 93, like a lot of fans, sort of the Diesel era, we'll call it. And I got to say, coming back, it was the original Hell in a Cell in St. Louis. It was Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, Kane's debut, right? But wow, what a match that was. You had the rise, Stone Cold Steve Austin. When was that was such an event, and then haven't been able to stop watching since that. But so many good St. Louis wrestling, as folks know. And we'll have, Bob Koppler on. He's a friend of mine. His family, of course, the Koppler family wrestling at the Chase. A lot of rich history there. And we'll have to have him on to talk about some of that. And because that's what St. Louis fans remember, the Sam Mushnick, big promoter as well, Brody.
Yep. Yes, he was. He was a big-time wrestling promoter. He promoted in St. Louis from the 30s all the way to 1982. So he was here for several decades wrestling at the Chase. He was known for NWA president, the first NWA president. He was recently featured in a movie, Queen of the Ring, where I think he was played by Jim Cornette in an acting role. Played Sam Muchnick in a movie recently.
That's streaming now.
The Queen of the Ring, Mildred Burke. So if you haven't already, see Queen of the Ring with Mildred Burke. Everyone will love it. It's very enjoyable, particularly for wrestling historians out there. Get to know a lot more about the history of the sport of professional wrestling. I mean, it's just, we got so much coming up, don't we? We got a lot coming down the pike.
Always is. That's
Always
the crazy
is.
part.
Yeah.
The best part, I think, about being a wrestling fan.
It's so true. So much good stuff. And so many, we'll have to talk sometime about famous superstars that are from St. Louis, Randy Orton, and name some others. Who else?
Oh, we've got a lot. Freddie
Ethan
Blassie.
Page. Well, he lives here, right? Fred Blassie from St. Louis.
No, well, I don't. Does Ethan Page live in St. Louis?
I thought he lived in St. Louis. Somebody
That I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know that though.
Yeah.
Can somebody can chime in on the chat and tell us, does Ethan Page live in St. Louis? I don't know.
Love it.
But
You
yeah, we got a
consider
lot.
Harley Race.
Yes,
Harley Race
absolutely.
from Missouri.
He
From the area.
personifies, yeah,
From Missouri.
or the Missouri area. Yeah,
Rural
absolutely.
Missouri.
Yeah. And when's the next Glory Pro show? We should look that up.
October 26th. We're going to be there.
Absolutely.
We will be there.
Yeah.
Giveaways. We will likely have a booth. We've got shirts. We've got hats. It will be fun. The Wrestling on the Spectrum crew will be there October 26th, a week after Wrestle Dream. Jake Something, I think, is going to be in town wrestling for the Glory Pro Championship. Get ready. We will be there. The Wrestling on the Spectrum crew will be there at Glory Pro Wrestling. I'm looking forward to that event. Check us out. See us. Visit us. You'll get a nice shirt and a hat and a photo. You can take your photo with us. It'll be great. Nothing better than coming and seeing us live, because we know there are a lot of passionate wrestling fans out there.
And Corey and the whole crew at Glory Pro, you want to talk about that Wrestling at the Chase experience, that rich history still is alive, and that communal feeling, and the ticket prices are a lot less than WrestleMania. I'll tell you that. It is such a great family fun. I can't say enough good things about Glory Pro, and seeing, and the interaction and the energy is just out of this world.
Great way to take your kids and get them involved, because they get up close.
Right.
You get a chance, meet the wrestlers.
Right.
I mean, it's a whole experience, usually unlike anything else they've ever been to. So
And
great
strong
opportunity.
fan base. They're all into the wrestlers. And to your point, the interaction between the wrestlers and the fans, they're right there. They're right there.
Next week, we're going to be back here. We're going to preview WWE Crown Jewel, which will be in Perth. We will do a deep dive preview, and potentially we'll get somebody in the studio to try to beat the brain for some tickets for Wrestle Dream. There is a lot next week. It is going to be a packed show. It's just a phenomenal time to be a wrestling fan, isn't it? You're going to hear the word phenomenal a lot, because AJ Styles is phenomenal, and he is going to wrestle John Cena in Perth. It's going to be epic, guys. I cannot wait. So much is going on here on Wrestling on the Spectrum, and it is going to be awesome, is the only way I can describe it. Wrestling on the Spectrum here on the Lou Information Station, live and on demand at louinfo.com. Guys, it's going to be a great show next week. Looking forward to it. Tune in. We won't be at our normal time, though, due to Illinois football taking on Purdue at 11 a.m., but check out our socials, because we'll give you an updated time of when we will be live. But we will be live next week. Looking forward to it, guys.
Yep, we'll keep everybody up to date on the schedule when Illinois football plays at 11. Of course, as they did today, we have to move. We have to slide out of their way.
Card subject to change.
Card subject to change.
Always
here on
subject
Wrestling on the Spectrum.
to change. Yes, Illinois with a big win today, so we'll let them stay on at 11 now. If they had looked like they did a week ago, we weren't going to let them have 11 o'clock anymore.
Strapping rocket past.
I was going to call up there and say wrestling significantly more important than whatever is going on.
That's right.
With that. So we thank everybody for tuning in. Keep it locked in here, and we will be again keeping everybody posted on the social channels. Tony Patrico will be back next week. You hear that, Tony? You'll be back.
He took a hard bump, brother.
He may not be, though. I don't know about the time. We don't know
back.
if he'll be back or not, but we hope he'll be back.
No, he will be back. But thank you guys. Have a great week and enjoy all the wrestling that is set to come. Keep it locked in right here. You've been listening to Wrestling on the Spectrum with JC, Brody the Brain, and me, Dave Green. And you are listening right here to KLIS, the Lou Information Station.
Go Illini.
Thank you for coming on.
This hour of content on the Lou Information Station is brought to you by Grandpa Pigeons, Johnny Mac's Sporting Goods, and Becky's Carpet and Tile Superstore.
Hey, see that, kids? That's the St. Louis Arch, the gateway to the West.
the Lou Information Station, where we'll always call it Highway 40 or Highway 40 if you're a boomer.
St. Louis expression?
Stream our content 24/7 at louinfo.com. The Lou Information Station.
What are you so happy about?
I'm on the pill.
Aren't you two a bit old to worry about having more kids?
Not her, me.
You lost me there, buddy.
Steelman pills. Things weren't always looking up, if you catch my drift. So my doctor prescribed me a little something.
Like Viagra?
Yeah, but that's expensive, and it wasn't covered by my insurance. Steelman pills cost me less than $3 a pill, and virtually the same effect. I just called and got over 40 pills for only $99.
I have this friend who might be looking and...
Well, if your friend wants some help, the consultation is free over the phone. No clinic. Steelman Pills sends it in the mail in a confidential package.
I'm on it. I mean, my friend will be on it.
Steelman Pills, going the extra mile to help men with erectile dysfunction.
800-915-9371. 800-915-9371. 800-915-9371. That's 800-915-9371.
Lunchtime just got a whole lot better at Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill. From mouthwatering wraps to loaded quesadillas to bold flavor-packed sandwiches, Hot Shots has something fresh every single day, along with your favorite wings, burgers, and pizza that you know and love. And don't sleep on those Hot Shots tacos. Plus, if you gotta be in and out quick for lunch, Hot Shots has you covered every day starting at 11 a.m. Find your nearest Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill now at hotshotsnet.com. That's hotshotsnet.com.
You're listening to the exclusive home of East St. Louis Flyers football, the Lou Information Station, 590 AM KLIS, Wood River, St. Louis.
USA Radio News, I'm Chuck Brady. Word is the U.S. is reportedly drawing up plans for military strikes against drug traffickers inside Venezuela. NBC News cites sources saying the strikes could happen in a matter of weeks. The Trump administration has been expanding its campaign against alleged drug traffickers. Over the past few weeks, the U.S. military has struck at least 3 boats from Venezuela that were allegedly carrying illicit drugs. The Department of Homeland Security is giving Florida some money, cutting checks totaling nearly $40 million for Florida's ongoing roundup of undocumented immigrants. DHS Deputy Director Madison Sheehan made the announcement alongside Governor Ron DeSantis and other leaders in Tallahassee on Friday.
So thanks to President Trump and Secretary Noem's big, beautiful bill, we are able to give out $1.7 billion to state and local law enforcement. Today, I'd like to present a check to the state of Florida for over $28 million and to local law enforcement for over $10 million.
DeSantis said he knew the federal government would reimburse Florida eventually and added the money would go towards continued enforcement of the president's immigration initiatives. Deputy Director Madison Sheehan said Florida leads immigration enforcement efforts nationwide.
The state of Florida has truly put up historic numbers of support for our 287G program, with over 4,700 officers statewide executing arrests on criminally illegal aliens.
Attorney General Pam Bondi says she's sending federal agents from the Department of Justice to ICE facilities to help protect immigration officers. In a post Friday, Bondi said she's sending the department agents wherever ICE comes under siege and also instructing the joint terrorism task forces across the U.S. to investigate all entities and individuals engaged in acts of domestic terrorism. The announcement coming just days after one person was killed and 2 injured in a shooting at a Dallas ICE office. America's News Network, USA Radio News.
With all the recent violent protests, looting, and destruction, some areas are considering either defunding or abolishing the police. At a time when America's neighborhoods need the protection of police the most, some elected officials would rather create more chaos by playing politics. If you're sick of elected officials caving in to demands of the radical left, you're not alone. It's time we stand up and declare our support for local police. The majority of police officers are important partners in protecting our God-given rights. If you prefer freedom over chaos, then learn how you can help protect the local police that serve your community. Call today and request your free Support Your Local Police info packet. Dial 800-JBS-USA1. That's 800-JBS-USA1. Request your free Support Your Local Police info packet by calling 800-JBS-USA1 today.
If you're a New York resident, you may be getting some money soon. New York State is starting to send out inflation rebate checks to more than 8 million New Yorkers.
Checks between $150 and $400 are being sent out, with the amount determined based on income brackets and whether you're a single or joint tax filer. DeQueta Jones-Johnson is the CEO of Trinity Alliance, which works with low-income families.
The rising cost of food, utilities, and daily essentials has weighed heavily on them.
Governor Kathy Hochul says the inflation rebate checks are a result of the state's sales tax revenue increasing due to inflation. She says that extra revenue is going back to New Yorkers. Checks will be mailed out through November. Scott Pringle, NBC News Radio, New York.
Right next door in New Jersey, officials are hoping that the coyote attacks are over in Saddle River.
The first attack in the Bergen County borough happened Thursday evening. A coyote attacked as a man was walking his dog near Chestnut Ridge Road. Then Friday morning, another dog and dog walker met a coyote about 500 feet from the site of the first attack. Both victims were treated for bite wounds. Officials found 2 coyotes. One was dead. The other was acting abnormally. It was euthanized. Officials are urging nearby dog walkers to be extra alert and to call if they see any more coyotes. Andrew Whitman, NBC News Radio, New Jersey.
Chuck Brady, USA Radio.
Carl Amari here to tell you about our newest website for old-time radio lovers. It's 100radioshows.com. At this site, there are 5 old-time radio shows waiting for you to download free as our gift to you, and be sure to browse the additional 700 old-time radio shows available to you for 70% off by using the promo code RADIO at checkout. This is a limited-time offer, so log on to 100radioshows.com. That's 100radioshows.com.
This is your LouInfo.com news update. Police say 2 women are in custody following the death of a man on Friday in the Greaterville neighborhood. One of them is a 23-year-old who landed in the hospital with a gunshot wound. The other suspect is 27 years old. A local real estate investor with plans to turn the shuttered Armory Entertainment Complex in Midtown into a data center. Rod Thomas has signed an option to buy the Armory for $25 million and repurpose it. 40 years behind bars for a man sentenced in connection with a fatal street race in St. Louis. It left a grandmother dead and her son and grandchild injured. 37-year-old Jerron Sims had previously been found guilty on murder and assault counts. Machinists on Friday approving a proposed 4-year contract drafted by their union. But the head of Boeing St. Louis saying the result of the vote is meaningless and will have no impact on ending the strike. After a big win last night, Cardinals back at it tonight, hosting the Brewers. First pitch, 7:15. For the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com. I'm Peter Killeen.
Welcome to Around the House with Eric G., your trusted source for all things home improvement. Whether you're tackling a DIY project, hiring it out, or just trying to keep your home running smoothly, you're in the right place. With over 30 years of remodeling experience, certified kitchen designer Eric G. takes you behind the scenes with expert advice, industry trends, and the latest innovations for your home. It's everything you need to know without the fluff. Now, here's your host, Eric G.
Welcome to the Around the House show, the next generation of home improvement. I'm Eric G. Thanks for joining me today. We have got a great show lined up with you today. And last week we had Johnny Dudley here from Site Hype Designs and remodeling contractor on the show. He is actually in the middle of moving like I was a couple of weeks ago. So I gave him the day off so he could make sure and get that done. He's moving an hour and a half away. So it's a big jaunt down in Columbia where he's living. We're going to let him get his move done. So next week we've got him dialed in here and we've been having a great time with the show today. I really wanted to share with you some of my top 10 tips for home ball security. What can you do to make your house a little bit safer? What can you do to get it all dialed in and really safe in your neighborhood that you're in? Now, it's funny. I am in a neighborhood where my house is up for sale now, and thank gosh I've got that thing up. A lot of traffic, a lot of people looking at it. I'm excited to see. I want to get moved on to the next chapter on that. I will miss that place. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that has been put into that place. However, it's always time when you get it done and go, okay, it's time to move on. And I live in a incredibly safe neighborhood. Now, you are never 100% away from crime, but pretty close to it there. We've got great neighbors. I'm deep enough in the neighborhood that any hoodlums that tend to come in are going to hit houses closer to mine, bigger than mine. And that's the nice thing about being a little bit far off the road and with a great security system and stuff around it and things I've done to make sure that we've got things secure. So here's the thing. When you're working with your home, it really takes some time to sit there and stand back because every home's a little bit different. My goal is to stand back and take a look at the house. And it's best to do it at night. Take a peek and see what do you see going on. If you're out at the sidewalk, which house in the neighborhood is the brightest? Which house in the neighborhood has the clearest view? And we're going to talk about some of these today because I think they can be one of those things that can really help make a difference in at least getting someone that might be trying to break into your home to walk down the street. Now, here's the thing. A lot of break-ins happen during the day. So what happens at night, you can have all the lights on in the world, but what happens during the day? So that's why we have to have a multi-tiered approach here with that. So first up is to install a security system. Now, a security system, for it to really work, needs to be monitored somehow. And there needs to be a human there looking at it. My favorite, and it's a little bit more money than some of the others, is Deep Sentinel. And what I like about Deep Sentinel, and no, they don't pay me to be part of this. I actually have one of their cameras at my house, and it is a lifesaver. Here's the difference with this. When you've got a monitored system, cameras, motion sensors, smart home integration, here's the thing. Nothing against Safe, Ring, or some of these other options with professional monitoring. I like that they use AI before people get in. Because guess what? If they're already coming in because the window sensor's open, now you're going to be documenting the crime and maybe calling the police. But the thing with the Deep Sentinel is you've got a camera out in front, around the sides, the back, any of those places where people can come in. So what it does is it sees somebody coming up, it uses AI and go, oh, that's your Amazon guy. Oh, that's your UPS guy. That's your FedEx guy. And yes, most of the time they're girls in my neighborhood, but you know what I'm saying. So you got those people getting it delivered. It uses that. But here's the thing. If someone comes up to the door, hits the Ring doorbell, or hits the other thing, and they stand there for a minute, they will go Deep Sentinel Home Security. And they're going to ask you why you're there. Now, if they start peeking around, they're going to get involved quicker. Because as soon as it goes, hey, that's not a delivery driver, it still gets taken a look at, but it gets to a heightened stage. So if somebody comes up and starts trying the door, they are right on it. They'll sit there and say, hey, Deep Sentinel Home Security, what can I help you with? They have got speed dial your police department right there, set up, ready to go. They just hit the button. They're into direct into 911. And if you're in a good city that has a police force, they're going to be right there. And what I mean by that is if I lived in Portland, Oregon, for instance, and it was Portland Police Department, and no shade thrown towards those guys. If Deep Sentinel called them, I'm not sure if the police would show up in the next 15 minutes. Don't think they would. I bet you in my neighborhood, 90 seconds, somebody's there. And that's a big difference of planning where you live and how this stuff works. Now, Deep Sentinel has got some really cool stuff online now. So if you have a business or if you want to go into one of their premium plans, yeah, they have smoke bombs. Yeah, they have pepper bombs that actually is like a paintball gun that can launch stuff. So they've got security things where they can actually take action via that. So if somebody's trying to bust in the door, somebody's trying to break a window, somebody's trying to vandalize, they can basically scare them off. But the cool thing is that you've got somebody there. Now, here's the other thing why I like this over the Simply Safe for some of the other ones. If I put on a hoodie and I go walking out with a TV out of the front door of my house and I'm trying to maybe not look at the camera, or if I look any kind of sketchy, they're going to ask, hey, Deep Sentinel, what you got going there? Because how do I know this? Yeah. My ex-daughter-in-law, that happened. Walking out with grandma's gift around the holidays. Boom, they were on it. It was pretty funny, actually. Freaked them the heck out, but that was pretty cool. So those are things that you look for. And so they'll get them coming and going on that. And cameras are great. Don't get me wrong. But cameras just document the time. and what time and who did it. By the time that you figure it out, it's way too late and you're not going to be able to do much about it. So having a good security system, I think, is key, and that's going to help you out in the long term. Now, I've got a lot of other ones that are out there that are great. I've got camera systems that notify me. That's awesome. And that can be problematic. And here's why. It was just, I'm not going to get too much into it, but I'll probably do this at a later date. But sometimes your cameras can catch things you just don't want to see. And we'll leave it at that. So be careful.